Carl, what was kind of when you first met Louie and he wrote to you? Did you imagine that he would be in the situation now that he would be going to the Olympics in Paris?
Well, it's funny, when he wrote me, the first thing I did was talk to Sean Maswanganyi, and I looked at video of him and of Louie, and I said, gosh, this guy's doing this, I can correct, and I think he can run faster. So my goal for him was to make the Olympic team. Now, it wasn't like go win the Olympic trials or whatever, but it was to make the team. I thought I could get him under 10:10, which would have been right there. It could have still been there today. But he definitely exceeded what I thought. And I think the big thing is the NCAA. I mean, I didn't even know a European had never won. I mean, that's pretty bizarre to think. And for him to win that and to run as consistently as he was, that was to me the big thing. And then because of that, I felt very confident here.
And when you first saw Louie, did you think, aware that you could, correct a lot of the mistakes? But did you think you thought the potential in this guy is that good that you actually thought, okay, it's worth taking him on?
Well, it's interesting because with the way the team was set up and with Sean there, I didn't have to put the pressure on Louie. He was always going to be second leg, and he was going to, Sean's known everywhere, he's popular, all that kind of stuff. So it helped me with him because he didn't have to worry about, okay, I'm here, I've run 10:17, almost every team in the country, I'd be number one, but here I can just chill.
Yeah.
And being in a city like Houston where like everyone can get lost, it really helped. And I think the big thing is that he was a good teammate. Good kid, no problems all year long, low-keyed. Like I said, his personal life is pretty settled, and he does what he's supposed to do. Matter of fact, this is the first trip he's been back here in 18 months. So he's focused on what he wants to do, and that's why he's having success.
And Louie's a number of British athletes, a large number now, going to the NCAA system in the US. What do you think are the biggest differences between, I guess, the UK, kind of the European, that college life compared to the NCAAs? Because the competitive nature of the NCAAs is so fierce.
Yeah, it's the competition is definitely different. But I think the bigger thing is that, kids at the high school level, they compete. It's a lot of fun. And you're able to extend that 4 or 5 years while you're getting your education. So when you're there, everything's important. So studying is important because that's better for your life. Competing, and then we take care of everything. That's the thing about it. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about physio. You don't have to worry about the gym. You don't have to worry about trainers.
Yeah.
We have a trainer just for the gym. We have coaches, 2.5 coaches basically for sprints, and then we also have a medical system that's set up. We're about 4 miles from the hospital, the largest hospital system in the world. So if you get hurt, you have an MRI in the morning.
Yeah.
And we have 3 trainers full time. I mean, it's just, you have everything. No post-collegiate athlete has the system that you have in college. And it's just a good system to develop.
And for Louie to be at the Olympics, you could have alluded to get into the final and you never know what will happen.
Right.
What do you think he can do kind of at the Olympics? What's the definition of success for him, for you? And then what's your kind of view of the 100-meter landscape kind of right now generally as well?
Well, my goal is to focus on what you can control. And I cannot control what place he gets to the Olympics. It's semifinals or anything. But what we can control is what his time is. So I know that if you run 9.9 or better, then you will have made every final in the history of every race. So we have something really simple: break 10 and you're in the final. Break 10 in the semi, break 10 in the final, and you're in the final.
Yeah.
And that's the goal I have for them. And if he does that, then anything goes.
And just kind of on that landscape of the 100 meters as well, what do you kind of make of that right now? Just, Americans, Jamaicans, and kind of the Europeans as well.
Well, right now, I mean, you have to look at Noah because Noah's won every race. He's the best right now. He's the defending world champion. And interestingly enough, the last person to win 2 in a row, or really win 2, is Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
It's that long ago. So I think Noah is trying to push himself to the front. Great athlete, great kid. And he's, without question, should be the favorite. Doesn't matter what anyone else runs, because the favorite's the favorite until they lose. And so the goal for us is to not worry about that, to worry about what you can run, because I know my philosophy was always, I didn't care about you. I just focused on running faster than you can run. So if you can run 10 flat, I ran 9.9. That's what we're going to teach them.
And just finally, from me, you mentioned you don't see yourself as a coach, you see yourself as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
How does that compare to being an athlete for yourself as well? Kind of what's the biggest changes? Is
well,
more patience as a
it's
one over the other?
It's different. If you want to go to just a sports side, because when you're a college coach, you're a coach, a friend, a parent. You put your arm around their shoulder, and then sometimes you have to punch them in the face. You're everything, because you have to discipline them, but then you have to also praise them. So that's that. But from the athletic side, it's a different space to be in, because I never thought or even had any interest in being a coach. To space, I ended up here a lot like my parents, because that's how I got started. And so because I'm here, I look at it from an athletic standpoint of teaching them how to get things done. Because what's happened so often is that we actually forget that athletes existed before 2000.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really noticed is that the athletes can't do the workouts that I used to do. So I don't see anyone ever getting 4 gold medals. I don't know if anyone will ever win 4 in a row, because we're not pushing our athletes to do the same things we did. We're always backing off. So now what I'm trying to do is constantly tell them, look, if you know, I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about my races or whatever, and I'm faster, and I'm not going to do that. If you want to know that, you can look on YouTube. You can go up and look at the thing, and look at the school records I still have 40 years later. So that's kind of how I am, and I think it allows them to be in their own space. I'm just encouraging, and it's very, very difficult to be fast. It's very, very difficult to be consistent. And then once you are fast and you are consistent, then you have a whole nother set of things, the emotional side. I mean, I took a video of Louie signing autographs. Well, 9 months ago when he came to Houston, not one of those kids knew who he was.
Yeah.
2 years ago, he didn't get out of the heats. And now he's champion 2 years later. Who would have known who he was? And then he got the biggest cheer before he ran. So that's the stuff that's just important to manage, because you know you can't fake the funk. Track doesn't play. I always say it's not all the game. It's not subjective. It's the eye in the sky and the time on the wrist. They don't miss. So you have to hit that, and that's when you perform well.